Most people undermine the reality of living abroad and working abroad. The reality hits when you move out of your country. People just look at money. Money is abroad, but there is a catch with that money. There are some people who can't deal with the loneliness. There are other people who can't deal with the stress that comes with the work and eating the same kind of meal every time, having the same routine year in and year out. All that comes with the expectations of you getting that money. There are things you need to go through, and most people find themselves with that isolation illnesses.
And others are diving into drugs. I want to cancel the statement that you have made that money is all abroad. I don't recommend anyone to be trapped in that kind of thinking that if you're home, you can't make it. There is some kind of confidence that comes with leaving the comfort zone of your area. When you go back home, you find people leaving their home villages or hometowns
to towns and
other parts of the country to get out of that kind of environment plays a big part. So you can make it way back home, and you can also make it outside the country. Today we shall be here to digest more into our lives here, especially the guys who are living outside the country, those who are in Europe, those who are here in the Middle East where we are staying. So it's always a tough and fair life, and to me I think it is worth it.
Yes.
So regardless of who may criticize it, regardless of what other people may say, but it's kind of really tricky. But we always fight to make sense out of it.
We try to manage, we try every time we try to fix and try to do something, and it is really constructive.
Yeah, it is. The moment you focus and you don't forget the goal why you traveled, miles away from your families, miles away from your people, miles away from a lot of things that we would think would be too associative, too important, but we left and came to taste a new life. I think it is worth it for me.
Actually, speaking of a new life, most people who are home, like let me say, most people who are back in Uganda, they think, actually it is true to a certain extent, that going abroad in search for greener pastures is the ultimate goal for everyone. Because as you know, in our countries, after education, the job opportunities are very, very, very few. So you find that most people dream of coming out abroad. Mr. Isaac, for the time that you have been here, what is your experience? Is it worth it really?
I think it is quite a different experience. First of all, being far away from home. Regardless of the people that we find here who are fellow Africans, fellow Ugandans, but it is quite, to me, I think it is an interesting experience because I came ready for no matter I didn't live it, but since I was ready to experience a different kind of lifestyle, I really embraced it.
You came prepared.
I came prepared to embrace a new kind of life. And the way I've found it, you just have to make it interesting. Regardless, you have to accept this is another way of life that you are in for, not for a lifetime, but for a certain amount of time designed with the target.
Actually, the amount of time is more important, especially when you come. Because you may find that you are trapped in the system as you move on. You may get excited about the environment, about the culture, about the way of life people live, because it is a different set.
I think for me, the biggest tool of survival here is keeping the focus and never getting used to the environment here. It's good to adjust and have some bit of relaxations, but not completely dissolving in this society. Because no matter how long you may stay here, but the end goal, as I always say, is going back home.
That's true.
So the moment you over-dissolve and have a lifestyle that was, because if you decide to live a Ugandan life here, it is possible.
It is also possible.
Because here it is more worrying, because if you waste money here, it is true that you regain it. You make more money. You may not gain the other exact money,
but you can still make the same money.
But there is always a cover-up.
You always feel like there is
a cover-up system. So my always focus is on working not dissolving, but getting used to the society, understanding how it works, and keeping the focus.
Yeah.
Ranging or covering the time I designed to be here, ranging on the goals that I set that I would like to achieve in that amount of time that I'm going to be here, and keeping the focus. So when that time comes, I must be ready.
Yeah.
Not debating whether when to go home, but I should. By the time I stepped in here, I'm always planning for my exit. You understand? It's like you have entered a school, and you know, if it is for 10 years, if it is, most of the schools are 6, 7 years.
Yeah.
So the moment you enter the system, I entered here as a school.
Yeah.
So I have to make sure within that scheduled time, I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, and I'm out. You understand?
Yes.
So that is the basic tool that I would like to share with others. Have your schedule, follow it to the dot, fix all your goals. You may try to adjust, maybe you can get a problem, can get sick, and you don't perform to the expectations. But still fall within the lines. You understand?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how you think it should be.
Now, Mr. Isaac, much as we set goals and we set plans, because I know each and every person leaves home when they have set, like, you set time. You say in 2 years, I have to be finished with JU. I go back and I start doing my business, I start my farming. But there are uncertainties that come up. And also there is pressure which comes from home, which is inevitable. Such things. And also you may get, like as you have explained it, you may get dissolved in this life. So you end up either extending the time of your stay in a foreign country, or you may end up going back, but actually you have not gained what exactly took you.
I think for that draws us back to the other first video that we made, concerning the black tax issue.
Yeah.
So the more you understand the black tax, the easier for you to keep the focus.
Yes.
Some things you may not have to do them all by yourself. Some things you have to delegate to other people to do.
By the way.
Yes, because sometimes if you, like other people who really have embraced each kind of responsibility that comes, calls, whoever writes a message, they make them feel guilty.
They are the people pleaser. Whoever is in
whoever sends a message, let me say someone is going to send a message and say, I have this and this problem, so I'm requesting like for $50, but it's okay if you don't have it. So the other, if it's okay if you don't have it, it is a manipulation.
It is a hook. It is a hook.
Yeah, to make you feel guilty. So most people are always trapped by such kind of traps. So they end up bringing the other back issue of emotional giving that I told you about. So every time that you see, let me say someone sends such a message, says thank you for understanding, I'm unable to make it. Blow that kind of manipulation, you understand?
Yes.
So in case you find yourself trapped in performance, mostly of sending money back home, always try to manage. Give what you can. Give what you have. If you don't have, you don't have. If you can, and you really have to measure the urgency of the needs that are asked from you, you understand? So if something, I always tell people that no one is going to die because you have not sent them money.
That's true.
You understand?
Yeah.
So always keep in your goals. Sometimes you can learn new things. You may come with a script. You also have to avoid scripts. There are people who come with scripts, do the house, do this, do what. But sometimes you can evolve and learn new things to do. Maybe you could even learn of a smarter way to do something.
Yeah.
So you may feel like instead of saving money, cash, for an entire 12 months, that is a year.
Yeah.
What if you made a slight or a manageable risk venture business that it could multiply, even if it is the smallest amount, but it is not kept? Money, it is a game. It is a game of multiplication. So you may find instead of keeping the entire, let me say 20, 30, 40 million, if you could invest in a manageable risk business, instead of keeping it as 50 and even keeping it in the bank where they are deducting it every month, every what and what.
Yeah.
So what if you invest it and maybe it could multiply, even if it is small, but it is gaining some value instead of even depreciating when you keep it in cash.
Yeah.
So that are some of the ways that you could try to dive in and manage. Yeah, that's what I would say.
You see, Isaac, most people undermine the reality of living abroad and working abroad. The reality hits when you move out of your country.
Because
people just look at money. It's true, money is abroad, but there is a catch with that money. There are some people who can't deal with the loneliness. There are other people who can't deal with the stress that comes with the work and eating the same kind of meal every time, having the same routine year in and year out. All that comes with the expectations of you getting that money. There are things you need to go through, and most people find themselves with that isolation. You find you have mental illnesses,
and others are diving into drugs.
Yeah, others.
But I want to cancel the statement that you have made that money is only abroad. There are guys who have made it way back home, and there are guys who are making it. So I don't recommend anyone to be trapped in that kind of thinking that if you're home you can't make it. It's true, there is some kind of confidence that comes with leaving the comfort zone of your area. Yeah. Let me say, when you go back home, you find people leaving their home villages or hometowns
to towns,
to Kampala, to other parts of the country, to get out of that kind of environment plays a big part. So you can make it way back home, and you can also make it outside the country. So there is a lot of trendy things. Let me see. There are people. Also, that one brings a challenge of there are guys who are living without purpose. They're living because they're seeing other people living.
And that's why I go with the view that money is abroad. Do you know why? After me moving abroad, it's when I realized that I can actually manage myself financially. I learned some financial discipline after moving abroad. Before, when I was in Uganda, I was just, you live, you get some money, you spend.
No, I would say it is not necessarily living abroad. It is necessarily changing the environment that you are in.
Yes. Yeah, I agree with you.
Not necessarily leaving the country, but changing that kind of environment. You could also have got that revelation
after
back
in
home, but not necessarily giving or attaching you identifying yourself or identifying your foes because of getting out of the country. It shouldn't be mandatory. Like there are some people who may take it that they have to leave their home countries to go for greener pastures in other areas in order to, when you learn a lot of things, but still there is no hope, right? That whenever you leave your country, you will have a better life. You can even run mad here.
That's true. There are people who have run mad.
Especially it comes with guys who don't have better coping mechanisms when it comes to stress. Other people easily slide into serving dopamine to going into drugs as their coping mechanism. Others are sliding into, like the girls are sliding into prostitution. Men also sliding into such acts. You understand?
Yeah.
Looking maybe for older women. You understand?
Yeah.
In a style of trying to cope with the stress that they have. But this kind of stress is manageable, provided they always say if your why is strong, the how is always, if your why is strong, the how is always, it is always easier for you. So if the reason as to why you're here, but sometimes I acknowledge that life can be really squeezy, but you always have to maybe talk to well-informed people who know what to do, not necessarily sharing to anyone, because sometimes you may share with a friend. Some of these friends, they don't know what to do. They may advise you into something more risky.
They may advise you wrongly.
Yeah, they might advise you wrongly and you end up in more risky. And the more you dive into those bad coping mechanisms, the stress you gain at the end of the day. You understand? If you enter into maybe issues, things of prostitution, you may come up with a very serious disease. The same with drugs. Drugs always have severe adverse effects. You can even run mad to remember this thing is hitting your head.
Yeah.
It is not a coping mechanism. Again, if you enter into such acts, you lose the physical energy to perform. Remember, most of the work here is mostly it is manual work, and it needs physical you need to be physically fit to perform at work. So the more you dive into such kind of lifestyle, it also drains you emotionally, then it is also going to your physical state,
Physically, yeah.
and you cannot work.
Yeah.
So that's how it is. That's how I think it is.
And another thing, there are some things which are really hard to cope up with. There are some things which you just have to accept that it is the situation, it is the new norm. Loneliness hits, especially during the times of the festive season when back home people are celebrating. Sometimes it comes when you have special days like the birthdays and you are all
I
alone.
don't celebrate those things, birthdays.
But it comes.
But me, I will insist and roll all back such kind of issues on being ready, knowing why you came. I think I will try to assume that most of the guys here, they are old guys and they have gone to school. So me, I would want to assume that by the time you left your whatever countries, wherever you were staying to live, you should know that where you're going, it is
Isaac, how? Okay, I can't blame that to anyone because you face the true reality when you land in the country. The picture you have in your head back home, you are only thinking about survival. If I get there, I get a job, things are going to work out well. That's all that is in your head. It's after you land, maybe after one month, that you start knowing that things are really hard.
Others, there is now the ideal life that you have in your head. Yeah. There is now the life on ground. The better for you embrace the shift.
Yeah.
The easier for you. So if you keep in the ideal world, you always be confused when it comes to reality on ground. So the more you make it smooth for that shift, I know it is tough, but it is a journey that these two people have to. If this is the mark that came, now there is a marker that is polishing out, is evolving to something different.
A new mark. Adapting to
a new system, different language, different culture, different color, different foods, different housing. Everything is different. So as a human being, I know we always try to stuck to our past. But as an upgraded human being who is ready to evolve to different things, you should be able. One of the better characteristics of a human being is your capacity, your adaptability to a new environment. It could take you time, but as long as you're witnessing that kind of gradual shift and change in your life, it always works out as long as you are committed to that and you're ready to change.
And as long as you are open-minded, you are free to change.
And you are free to change. And the other thing I was telling you, embracing the new reality that is coming and accepting and making a decision to enter, to flow through that kind of uncertainty, that reality that is going on. That's how it is. Regardless of the challenges have to be there. Because even way back home, we were facing challenges that to a certain point pushed us to leave our lovely homes, to lovely countries, to these other places across the world. So challenges, no matter where you cannot run away from problems, but you have to stand and try to manage within. You understand?
Yeah.
So that's how we think it is.
It's really important, and I hope the people watching have learned something, and they can also engage more through the comment section, and also endeavor to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can share with a friend. You can also contact us and through the comments you can give us more of what we should talk about. If you want to also engage with us, we can link up and we discuss more about such topics.
And those who want to come when you're very ready. Don't just show up. It's not as you imagine it is. Just come when you're ready, come focus. Life will be smooth. Not as smooth as you want it to be, but always finding the being part
Rhythm.
of the solution,
Yeah.
finding the best rhythm for your life. Thank you.
Okay.